The first one I have for you is that Anthony Edwards is here. And to set the stage a bit before I let you answer this question, 29, 8, and 6 with a steal and a block per game in 9 games since Karl Anthony Towns went out. 32% usage, 26% assist rate, 38 minutes per game basically, and the Wolves are 6-3 in those games, staying afloat with still a very good shot at the top seed in the Western Conference. Is this what we've been waiting for with Ant? Is the superstar, holy shit, this guy might win an MVP someday version of this guy finally with us?
Yeah. I don't know anybody who would like really dig their heels in on no to this one. This is a great one to open it up with because like this is just a guy who pretty much the entire season, even dating back to last playoffs, I suppose, you've gotten these just flashes where it's like, oh my God, like this is a terrifying guy to be 22 years old. And every time you bring that up to somebody, their jaw hits the floor. He's 22 years old and he's already doing all of this stuff to all of the NBA's absolute best players. Yeah, I'm totally on board with him. Like this is his ascension and everything. And part of it is obviously the Karl Anthony Towns absence and Minnesota just looking to him to be like, hey, the offense was already shaky. You are going to have to be pretty much everything as far as like a foundation of our team's scoring goes. And I mean, is like if you could have your pick of every 22, even 23-year-old in the league, Anthony Edwards is probably the guy to go to if you want something like that. Just because, I mean, the diversity of shots that he's capable of making, especially something that stuck out to me when they were playing the Nuggets the other night, and he just like force-fed them a competitive game. It really had no business being like that with Luka Garza guarding Jokic the entire time and stuff. In that game, he was spamming the bank shot.
Kyle Anderson at center, right?
Oh my God. Which like, I mean, I was mad in the moment because I was like, why are we like letting them hang around? But looking back on it, I mean, Anthony Edwards for the first 3 quarters, it was just like this barrage of every single time, especially being at home and how he feeds off the crowd. Every time the Nuggets got into a position where they were like, okay, we can pull away here, Anthony Edwards made some kind of play that put the Timberwolves right back into the ball game. And I mean, that's against a Nuggets team. They're the defending champions. They're a really good defense. They have great personnel to throw at him. And you saw a little bit of more of that in the fourth quarter where they were like, Jaden McDaniels beat us, Mike Conley beat us, and they still made their shots and everything. But for the first 3, that game blew me the fuck away. And this whole 9-game stretch has been impeccable by him. I'm going to say it's real.
I have to say the same. What's funny, you said it would be hard to dig your heels in on the opposite side. I obviously agree, as I just said, but weird data stuff in here. Again, we're looking at small samples, and this is where you kind of just have to like be a toddler and like stick your fingers in your ears and sing a song and just kind of ignore stuff when your eyes are telling you one thing and some of the, stats might be saying something different. They've actually been better when he's off the court. That's only in 10 minutes a game because, again, he's playing 38 a game. Their defense, like if you were to really go granular data stuff, the defense is what has been keeping them the most afloat during this cat stretch, just like it has been all season. But there are also still some things. I mean, I mentioned his stats in this stretch. He's also doing, I think, the things that you want to see a young player start to kind of, like, I guess the way I would put it, he's establishing what his identity is going to be, what his go-to stuff is going to be. And I think that's what makes me feel really good about it, right? It's like he's so talented. He's a freak athlete. He has always had a really smooth pull-up jumper. He can pass well enough from a young age that you can put the ball in his hands. Defensively, we've seen the ceiling at various points, last year's playoffs and everything else. But it's like, okay, but what is his bread and butter going to be? And I think that's what we're kind of seeing this season and this stretch in particular. Like, he's finishing a lot better. He's getting the line more. It just feels like he's cutting some of the fat off of his game where it just feels harder to force him into mistakes. And I think that game that against Denver is a great example. I kind of forgot about that game until you brought it up, but I watched it as well. And it shouldn't be possible to work a pick and roll with Kyle Anderson making short roll passes and like just coming back from double digits down or whatever it was, making a game out of that. None of that should be possible, but it's like when you do start to cut those mistakes out, that starts to be what's possible. I think that's what makes you excited about what he could do in the playoffs and everything else. Like I'm just kind of at the point where you can look at a whole bunch of different things, you can feel different ways about the Wolves as a team, but it just feels different watching him. It doesn't feel as out of control, and I think that's what's been really exciting to me. Is it's just like, oh yeah, this is what happens when a guy's not on his rookie deal anymore and starts to like get reps in the NBA and actually put a career together.
Yeah, I like that. The phrase "trimming the fat" definitely stands out a lot to me. And it's cool because again, with a guy as young as he is, oftentimes at this point in their careers, it's where this is where the fat is starting to develop. You get like all of the high level play by the time they turn they're hitting 22,
Yeah.
23. They're showcasing the flashes that he's already shown at 19, 20, 21 years old. And so for him to be at the point now where the Timberwolves can ask him, hey, instead of like pump faking at the elbow, how about we make a quick swing pass and then you'll get the ball back after two guys have closed out on your teammates. The defense will be totally out of position and you'll be ready. Like all of your athleticism, your strength, you can put that to work right away. For the team to already be asking him to make those kinds of steps in his development, that's a phenomenal sign because oftentimes you don't see players ready to make jumps like that until they're like 25 years old, even in some later cases. So yeah, I just think on top of the athleticism, on top of all of like the touch, the tools that he has, he's an incredibly smart basketball player as well.
Yeah.
And I think he understands the position that he's in, what the team is going to need him to do, not just now in this stretch without Karl Anthony Towns, but moving forward over the course of the next several years, and like really understands how to hammer home the strengths of his game.
Yeah, I love the short memory that he has too. Like obviously he's kind of playing a little bit of a character, maybe you would say, and some of this post game stuff, just being like a goofy kid and everything. I think we all know he's much more of a dog than oh, did we do that in this game? Wow, I had no, but I do like the idea of it's just, yeah, we went out there and kind of just did what it took. And I do think like at the end of the day, that is what you hear from a lot of the best players. They can break down exactly how it went, but in their minds, it's really just it's like a computer program. It's like executing steps in the line by line,
Yeah.
moment by moment, doing what it needs to do, doing what you need to do, and then to have the talent to obviously get there is a whole other thing, but we've always known he had that. And then I love the point you made about kind of the way that they work things too now, where I think we forget, obviously the Gobert trade was a pretty big bomb to set off changing what their team looked like, but other than that, and now even that's been a full 2 seasons, this team has chemistry. I mean, the Conley addition has been so seamless that I don't even think that really needed much time to gel. But Jaden and Kat and Ant and even some of these bench guys, they've been playing together for a while now, and I do think that shows.